It's Brindley. Happy Sunday night. I hope everyone I trust that you had a beautiful, I'm going to put this on so I can see, a beautiful weekend. It's Sunday night, and I think we have some new faces, some new followers. So I just wanted to kind of briefly introduce myself. I'm Brindley Tucker. I'm just a human here for the first time, trying to figure it out. And have had some pretty wild adventures along the way of figuring it out. And now I've been in the coaching space for about the last 15 years, doing business coaching and personal development coaching. And here we are. I started this series back prior to COVID, during COVID, and then it kind of fell off. So we're bringing it back on Sunday nights, just 10 to 15 minutes of here's something impactful to focus on for the week. And, we'll see where it goes from there. Nothing fancy, nothing, just me. It's just me. So I've picked a theme for every week, and then on my socials and my emails, all of that will be along with that theme. If you're not getting my emails, you can go to brindleytucker.com. Right about 3/4 down the page, there's a place to put in your email to get added to that list. But tonight I want to talk about when the tools stop working. So I did some research, and 97% of readers of self-help books don't finish the books. Yet it's a $13 billion industry. So let me repeat that. 97% of readers admit that they don't finish their self-help books. Guilty. I've got shelves and shelves and shelves of books that some I've read multiple times, but others, they would be given to me or there would be an event, and I never got to all of them. And then 15% of people are truly aware, truly self-aware. Yet 95% of people think they are. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, because insight doesn't change behavior. Knowledge doesn't change behavior. That was me for a really long time. I'm a coach. I have all the knowledge. I know all the things, and I don't need to go here. I don't need to listen to this person. I don't need to grow. I need to grow, but I don't need to go there to grow. And what I realized is it didn't matter how much I knew. The same patterns were showing up over and over and over again. And so I want to talk about, we've all been there. Most of us have. It's when you know what you're hitting. You know that you're hitting a ceiling, and you've tried everything. You've tried every self-help book, every coach, every joined this, joined that. You're paying subscription fees to apps to try to help it, but yet you can't articulate what it actually is. You can't articulate why it occurs. So I'll give you an example. For me, my passion tends to come out as aggression. And for a lot of years, I was not a great communicator. I'm still working on being a good communicator. And that's being vulnerable, right? I grew up in a family where the louder you were, that's who was heard. And they spoke very direct to one another, most of the time not kindly. And so you model the behavior that you learn. Yet everything that we do is a learned behavior. So if we're willing to go through the work, we can actually unlearn the behavior. And that's not done in the books, in the frameworks, with the coaches. That's done in here. That's being willing to be open enough, not defensive, not an explanation, but in true openness to look at things that may not even be yours to carry. So awareness is the first step. We've all heard that. Awareness is the first step to change, but it's not the solution. That's not the solution. We can be aware our entire lives and nothing changes. It explains the pattern, but it doesn't move it. Awareness will say, I overfunction, I rescue, but yet I'm continuing to overfunction. I'm continuing to rescue. And that's what awareness does, because it's not the solution. And that's when we start to talk about the difference between cognitive understanding, which is knowing it up here, the logic, right? The insight, the awareness, the knowledge, versus experiential, which is in here. Something changes. It's a change, it's a shift, it's an experience, an experiential shift inside of you. It's not just, I read a book and I'm working on it. And that was me for a lot of years, you guys, a lot of years. I was preaching self-help, I was doing all the things, but I wasn't really looking internally. I thought I was, but I wasn't really looking internally to the point of saying, none of this has anything to do with anyone else except me. If I'm triggered, if I'm unhappy, if I'm whatever I am, that's my responsibility. It's my choice. I can no longer blame anyone, but I had to come to an understanding of understanding what was causing the pattern, what was beyond the awareness and the insight. And so the nervous system and the body don't change based on insight and knowledge. The nervous system and the body are wired based on events, based on trauma, based on the way we're conditioned, the way we're programmed. And that doesn't just respond to understanding. We can't just read a book and change our nervous system. Changing your nervous system is it's changing the behavior over and over and over until you're totally in the new behavior. And we can go into all the technical neuroplasticity and all the terms that are going to be way up here, but truly what it is it's doing something long enough that your nervous system learns a new way of doing. It's that simple. And we don't know that, and we don't get there until, what I say, we pass the tests. And that's what I believe this huge universe is it's just one energetic field teaching us the same lesson over and over and over until we get it. And so when we talk about the difference of the body and the nervous system versus the knowledge, let's talk about overfunctioning. That was our theme last week. When we overfunction, we could know we're overfunctioning. We're exhausted. We know we're giving more than we need to. We know we're people pleasing, but yet we can't stop. We have it up here, but we haven't wired the nervous system to stop because it's deeper than just up here. And it could be even deeper than you. It could be deeper than your parents. And that's when most of us in self-help go, ooh, I'm not ready to go there. That's too deep. Because that requires me to really look at myself and admit that I've made these choices to get here, and I've got to start making different choices to go on to a different path and have a different way of living. And so that's where it starts, right? That's where it starts. And that's where we can start to see where the pattern exists inside of the system. And when I say system, the family system, where did it come from? So if you're circling something right now and you just are over and over, you're hitting the same ceiling, the same problem, most likely it's because there's deeper work. That's where we start. We start to see where that's coming from. I was working with a client last week, and there's definitely control issues happening. And it's affecting her business, it's affecting her marriage, it's affecting her life. And as we dug into it, we started looking at her family lines and started asking who on your mother's side or who on your father's side had control issues. And come to find out, there was a whole line and a whole list of stories and people that had struggled with control in business for many generations. And so I was able to help her see that so that she could start making decisions based on her decisions, not decisions that were conditioned and programmed for her to do. And so this week, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the deeper work. We're going to talk about, I posted yesterday about the untethered soul. I had the honor and privilege of spending time with Michael and reading all of his material. And the reality is that's the exact perfect example. You can read all those books, but if you're not truly practicing every day to become untethered, and listen, we're all human. There's days I do it really great, and then there's days I'm losing my mind. And that's just the beautiful, beautiful thing of being human. And so I just hope that this week and send you love and light, that you will give yourself grace, allow yourself to be human, and really think about what's holding you back, what's truly stopping you, and what are we maybe not willing to look at, or we haven't been willing to look at, that if we did, it would help. So I'll see you guys next week, and follow along this week. Drop your, if you want to just drop your email in the comments, you can do that. You can message me or Go to the website, brindleytucker.com, and my newsletter will be right on the front page. Talk to you guys soon. Bye. It's Brindley.